I've been in Houston my whole life. I went to MDPC for middle school and high school youth. And for all of high school, I had different things going on in my life, whether it be youth, Ozone, or Young Life, where the Lord could play an active role in everything that I did. I was also blessed to have not only a loving family where they welcomed everything that I did and were very supportive to me, but I also had a core group of friends. They supported me in everything I wanted to do for the Lord, and they challenged me. It was never hard to come back to the Lord anytime that I straggled away. He was always there with open arms, and there were so many different things in my life where I could see that it made high school a very unique experience for me. Going into my senior year, I'm a third-generation Aggie, so I knew I not only wanted to come here, but I also found out I was going to get in, which was really relieving to me. But at the same time, adjusting to the fact that I'm going to know a lot fewer people going to college than I am in high school. So I was a little anxious about groups that I'd be going into, making sure that I had people pouring into me, like I had with Young Life and with the church. Going into that summer, I worked at Camp Ozark and got to meet a lot of people, but at the same time, I wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to get involved with the church and have that fellowship because it had played such a major role in my life. I didn't really know how I was going to function without it. And so going to A&M, meeting some older guys that I had met through either the church or through Camp Ozark, I was able to seek after a couple guys that could be honest with me. Those guys helped me realize just being open to pursuing Him, that options would make themselves clear, and they did. I was very lucky the summer of my sophomore year to be able to go work for MDPC in the high school youth department. For me, that was the first time in my life where I woke up every day early to get to work and stayed late and got to make a bunch of relationships with kids and really get to see the Lord use me as a tool in their lives. After that summer, I realized what my purpose really was. I knew I was a relational guy, but seeing youth ministry at work really made me realize what the Lord had called me to do. And so after halfway through my junior year, I changed majors. And one thing I can't say enough is that older leadership that I had in my life, specifically my parents. They had the world's best interest for me, not only from the standpoint of being parents, but from a godly standpoint and knowing what my skills were. But also with Brett Hurst, he was a beacon of light to me in that time of just having someone else to talk to. Because as a stubborn teenager, I tend to not listen to my parents all the time. I can't say enough about him and the role that he played. He didn't play just the role of Brett Hurst, but also he played the role of God working through somebody in my own life. So after that, I was able to find a major that was relational and fit me personally. And I can't say enough how college isn't meant to be the next step. It's meant to hone in on skills that the Lord can use you for. We're called to go out into the workforce and be disciples for Him. And so if we're going out into a major or into a job where it doesn't tailor us, we're not going to be as effective as we need to be. I mean, I don't care what you do. You need to have the Lord using you in some way. And if you're happy, then that means that you're pursuing something that the Lord wants you to pursue.
It is such a blessing to see students get excited about the gospel. In Matthew 28, Jesus commands His followers to go and make disciples. Trevor is just one of the many students that is doing just that. He's going out and he's excited about sharing his faith. As a ministry, our desire is to help students recognize and embrace the gifts God has given them so that they may go out into the world in order to further His kingdom.
There's very few people I talk to with the youth department where they're there because it's the cool thing to do. They're there because they love God. And whether or not they find that in middle school or high school, they have the right tools to use them and apply them. The Lord works in unique ways for each individual person. I love that. But sometimes I don't shut up as well, which is also a negative part sometimes.